2 years ago, I was inspired to make a pop-up cosy library where children could come and explore their creativity. I pitched this idea to the Isle of Wight Story Festival and they took a punt. "What do you need?" they asked. I had a long list of things that I needed to find and curate. Old books, old looking bookcases, a big comfy chair to sit on, some old wireframe spectacles, and lots of tiny little things. This last weekend, the Isle of Wight Story Festival weekend, the secret library finally happened. A set, a performance space for storytelling, and a place for writing and making stories, and a chill out place for families to come and sit if they wanted to get away from the hubbub of the rest of the building. It took place in the rather wonderful Key Arts in Newport on the Isle of Wight, and the Story Festival takes place in the latter part of the February half term every year. You should come along. The gallery has a curved wall, so that was something to figure out. The fireplace that I made needed to join to the wall, but not in a way that was going to destroy the listed building, so we opted for sticky Velcro. I'd also been working with some art students at our local college to make some thrifted ghost pictures to dress the wall opposite the secret library. This space is also a corridor to backstage and the green room, so we had to keep it a clear access. And then I spent most of the last year making tiny things to populate my library. With a theme of the borrowers, I knew I had to make a tiny washing line, and that was the first thing that I completed. Then it was a question of thrifting like there was no tomorrow, collecting things that I knew had the right vibe, and creating little museum pieces. It was starting to look like the picture I had in my mind. I also had a hot air balloon and a parachutist flying in from the ceiling. This ship is one of my favourite pieces. I think it might be pretty old. I had to do a little bit of restoration on it, but I think it's a thing of beauty. Some things I already had, like the radio, but I found the perfect wooden spoon for my story just days before the show opened. Here's where a fairy keeps her little crown. And then the exhibition space. This went down an absolute storm, with children filling in their own pictures to go into that exhibition space. Here's the little houses with their teeny tiny people inside. Oh, one of them's actually a bowl of fruit. We needed a table for the kids to sit at while they were writing, and that was the one thing I really wished that I could have sourced, but the trestle table served a purpose, and the children had such a lot of fun looking at the tiny pots and the apothecary. The typewriters were a massive hit and rarely out of use for the whole weekend. Inside the school desk were a lot of random things a borrower might take to fashion into something else. And then the day before we opened, I looked on Pinterest and decided I just had to make one of these. And look at what our magic tech guy Connor built. A secret entrance for the child to enter. This is what it looked like before and after. And then the doors were open and the audiences flooded into the story festival. At the secret library door was a comments book, and these are some of the things that people said about it. Fantastic! What a magical story and wonderful chance to use our imagination. Wow, this is amazing! Loved this so much. Utterly awesome idea. We love anything mythical and whimsy, so this was right up our street. Clearly a lot of thought and time went into this. All in all, I was super pleased that I could pull off the image I had in my head. The only trouble is, I now need to think about what I might do for next year. And so that's a wrap for another year. I'm off to have a nap somewhere dark and quiet, like a little mole in a hole. I will see you next week. Nano nano.